Ja, eigentlich wollte ich gar nicht so mit ihm reden. Denn es geht ihn wirklich nichts an. Aber war nicht ganz möglich. Schade. Keine Zeit. Ja, toll. Und da steht schon wieder so ein Priestertyp. Dann geh mir weg mit deinem Licht. Die halten mittlerweile ganz schön viel aus. Alter, wieso haben die sich nicht um den gekümmert? Oh, das ist gar kein... Das ist gar kein Skal. Ah, einer von denen, okay. Dann wollen wir mal zurück.
Remember you.
Whoa.
Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making. This is your doing. You made me this creature. What are you? I am the land. You are our champion. You selected me, chose me. As shall my children yet to come. What is it you seek? This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged. This has something to do with the epidemic. Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur. I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave. So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
Dann zurück zu Edgar.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the guard.
Leave him, Jonathan. This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned. By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
Very well. I'll help you.
I know this place means something to you. I have noticed how you suppress your appetite when around the staff and patients.
You need to know you can trust me, Edgar.
I do, dear fellow, I do.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Well, they are not far wrong. The hospital is almost crawling with vampires.
McCallum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this.
Der trostlose Heilige des East End setzt Sean Hamptons Gräueltaten ein Ende. Und wo müssen wir dafür
Sean
hin?
Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
So many deaths.
Okay,
A lot of my own life.
ich bin eben wohl nicht vorne reingegangen. Das wäre mir aufgefallen.
What on earth happened here?
Kein Hinweis. Royal Garden Hall Theater. Clyde Fitch präsentiert Doris Fletcher The Pooh. Okay. Ich heile die später, das mal jetzt nicht zwischendurch.
Oh, Jonathan. I cannot believe my eyes. Poor woman. Butchered by some savage scalp.
Was? Ich frage einfach.
Would you care to partake in this meal with me?
Jonathan, how could you say such a thing?
Forgive me if I feel despondent.
For there seems to be no end to the suffering and death that surrounds us.
I'm always here for you, Jonathan.
What do you know of Ascalon? I was threatened by a creature, a vampire in Whitechapel, stating I had to obey the law of conduct.
What more can you tell me about him?
He was bigger than a man. Huge, in fact. He seemed to radiate violence. I thought he was going to tear me apart. Then he vanished.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon. You were fortunate he was not after you, but rather out doing his master's bidding.
What is Ascalon?
The Ascalon Club are the most powerful vampires in Britain and exert tremendous influence. Take my advice and stay well away.
I have experienced a certain difficulty when faced with holy symbols or trying to enter religious buildings. Have you?
Now that's quite a question. I don't know why, but yes, it has happened to me.
Is this a sign? The hand of God in action? Are we repellent unto heaven?
I don't have the answers, Jonathan. But I believe superstition and magic is just fact awaiting the lens of science.
Aren't you frightened?
Very little scares me, my dear. To be compelled to avoid symbols of faith does not concern me.
Have you embraced this woman, like the other patient, this Mr. Renfield?
Her name was Amelia. And no, I did not kill her. I vowed a very long time ago that I would never take another life, unless they ask.
Is there sufficient vitality in the blood of the sick and dying patients?
Yes, Jonathan. The hunger gnaws at me every waking hour. Frankly, I'm starving.
Temptation surrounds us. Rich, vital. How can you resist?
Over the years, any pleasure I once gleaned from feeding is long gone. I drink for sustenance. And though I still thirst for more, I restrain myself.
Hört sich echt kacke an.
Thank you, my lady. I hope to see you again soon.
Oh, ich kann nicht über diese Leiche laufen. Das macht absolut Sinn. Ein Toter. Kaltes Blut ist wohl nichts für uns. So, wir müssen zu den Docks. Die Docks waren... habe ich da schon eine Abkürzung? Ich muss hier unten zu den Docks, nicht dahin. Dann nehme ich mal den alten Weg.
It seems the Priwen are redoubling their patrols in the district. I must be more careful.
Oh, das war doof.
Fear no evil. We do the Lord's work here. Lord, give us strength. Filthy move!
Ja, sind ein paar mehr. Kann ich jetzt vielleicht besser hierher? Ah, okay. Ach, da. Na gut. Das macht diesen neuen Kollegen, die wir da gesehen haben, bestimmt nicht glücklich, dass wir so viele von denen jetzt töten. Ach komm, wir kämpfen uns einfach weiter durch. Ja, ich bin hier. Also die neue Säge, die alte Säge, die verbessert wurde, ist echt gut. Aber der Flock ist richtig geil. Normale Leute kann ich damit direkt schocken. Na toll. Ja. Da kommt mein Zug, ich muss mich beeilen. So. Das Tor müsste offen sein. Guck mal kurz. Denn da irgendwo... wo war das? Da war das, ne? Da flitze ich eben hin. Muss ja warte mal, da oben, glaube ich, war da so ein Torbogen oder so, wo ich rein kann. Bin ich da nicht aus Versehen mal irgendwann rein? Wo war das denn? Hier, ne? Okay, ist einfach eine Gasse. Okay. Hier bin ich, glaube ich, irgendwann mal rein und hier waren zu viele Skulls oder so. Sagte er und da fingen sie auch schon an zu kreischen. Ist auch noch was. Wo geht... Bin nur wegen dem Tor hier. So, wieder ein Weg mehr. Wir müssen da hinten hin. Aber ich muss mich mit denen auch noch komplett unterhalten. Ne, hier habe ich das doch schon. Ein Unbekannter. Haben wir den nicht irgendwo rausgeholt?
Mark my words.
Oh.
These murders are the work of a vampire.
A vampire? Whatever do you mean?
I'm a tracker of these creatures. A vampire hunter.
You best be off to your hunting then. For if the sewer dog is back and hunting all these poor folk, he needs a catching.
A sewer dog? What's it look like?
It's an old story. A monster with daggers for teeth and icy claws. He comes of a sudden, nighttime, claiming innocence, then vanishes.
Teeth, claws, murders by night? Your sewer dog is my business. He's the kind of prey I hunt, milady.
Not a drop of blood left in his body. This is the work of a vampire.
Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
And what do you define as a strange event? More to the point, who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton, vampire hunter extraordinaire and warden of the East End.
A vampire hunter? Really?
I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm not. The bloodsuckers exist, and they're close.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'd like to hear more about these vampires you're hunting.
A man of science? Well, I'll be glad to enlighten you.
What can you tell me about this neighborhood?
Did you hear about what happened to Jack Gillingham? Poor boy. It's a shame I wasn't around to protect him.
It's impossible to protect everyone. The violence seems endemic in this part of town.
But it's my duty. I am convinced Jack Gillingham was killed by a vampire. These evil rodents are spreading like a plague.
So, how exactly are you protecting these people? I'm curious.
I patrol late at night, investigating anything unusual. I try and encourage people to stay indoors, but people are careless.
Can I help in any way?
Actually, yes. I plan to put up posters to alert the population to the vampire threat.
Are you asking me to paste posters about vampires around the docks?
If you wouldn't mind. If you did that, then I can focus on my patrols.
Schön.
How do you identify a vampire?
It's simple, really. They can't stand daylight. They're afraid of garlic and holy symbols. They also cannot enter a house without being invited.
Have you ever killed one of these creatures? Yourself, I mean.
Of course I have. What kind of question is that? It's a dirty business, believe me.
Goodbye. And good hunting, Mr. Throckmorton.
Ich sehe, wo das wieder hinführt. Okay. Wie sieht es denn hier in dem Bezirk mit den Menschen aus? Da fehlen uns wirklich noch ein paar. Aber ich habe doch noch gar nicht wirklich mit denen gequatscht. Kann das sein? Dann machen wir das jetzt in der nächsten Folge. Also, unterbrechen die Story kurz. Wir suchen Sean Hampton noch weiter, aber in der Zwischenzeit erstmal wieder ein bisschen mit den Leuten reden. Denn die haben hier, soweit ich weiß, ja auch noch jede Menge Hinweise. Nee, ich glaube, hier habe ich noch gar nichts gemacht. Ja, es sieht so aus, als wenn ich hier... Ja, ja, stimmt. Ich wollte ja mit Booth Digby noch quatschen, weil ich den auf jeden Fall fressen will. Ja, schön, alles klar. Dann sehen wir uns in der nächsten Folge. Oder aber in der, die danach kommt, wenn es mit der Story weitergeht. Bis dann, danke fürs Zuschauen. Tata.